Have you ever wondered why no feels like such a defeat and why yes sounds like such a victory? Today, we're going to flip that belief backwards. Welcome to the journey where no becomes your strongest ally. I'm Matt Riley, and this is Learn Something New. In this video, we're diving into the art of negotiation, uncovering the hidden power of no and reshaping our understanding of yes. Whether you're here to hone your leadership skills, master your sales tactics, or simply scratch that curiosity itch, you've come to the right place. Learn Something New is all about uncovering insights that can transform the ordinary into extraordinary. Let me tell you a short story about a game-changing moment in my life and career. The year was 2017. I just quit my cushiony corporate job in the mortgage industry and started a company and industry I knew nothing about: utility scale solar development. Now, I was deep into a negotiation of my first solar deal, which ties up about 300 acres of farmer's land for over 40 years. When I realized something just wasn't right, I knew this was a key partnership that could lift off my company. The dialogue was stuck in a cycle of yeses, but my gut was telling me that the farmer was not fully on board. So in a terrifying and bold move, I shifted the conversation by encouraging the farmer to voice their no and talk about why they should not do this deal. This actually opened up a dialogue about their concerns and needs, and we addressed all of the issues, settling any remaining uncertainty. That led to a more authentic and fruitful negotiation. Their no didn't end the conversation, it was the real beginning of the conversation. That negotiation not only resulted in a successful partnership, but it also led me on a path to discover why using no makes things work. I learned an invaluable lesson. The power of no unlocks true potential and builds lasting business relationships. Why was this new understanding so profound? Because I found, whether in business or in personal life, being able to navigate and welcome no paves the way for honesty, clarity, and more effective outcomes. Let's explore how this works in the world of negotiation and beyond, so you can leverage the power of no as well. Now that we've seen the transformative power of no through my own experiences in solar negotiations, let's broaden our horizon. How does this apply to various situations that you might encounter? Whether you're negotiating a business deal, making decisions in your personal life, or even navigating everyday choices. Understanding the nuances of yes and no is critical. In the next segment, we'll dive into the psychology behind these responses and unpack the strategies to use them to your advantage. We'll explore why people often default to yes and the hidden opportunities that lies inside of no, how you can apply these insights to become a more effective communicator and decision maker. So let's take a closer look at what lies beneath the surface of these simple words and uncover tactics that can transform your interactions and negotiations. As we embark on this exploration, I want to make your viewing experience as interactive and user-friendly as possible. So this video is thoughtfully structured into several key parts, each focusing on a unique aspect of our topic. So for your convenience, I've organized these chapters so you can easily navigate by using the progress bar. Whether you're interested in the misconception of yes, curious about reframing no as a positive, or interested in diving into no in negotiations, you can quickly jump into any section that piques your interest. The chapters are: 1. The misconception of yes. 2. The negative connotations of no. 3. Reframing no as positive. 4. The 3 types of yes. 5. The strategy of inviting no. 6. The real power of no. And 7. Leveraging no in negotiations. Feel free to explore these sections at your own pace and according to your own interests. Now, let's dive in and begin our journey into the fascinating world of negotiation and communication. Let's start with part 1, the misconception of yes. It's probably not hard for you to imagine this, especially if you remember the days before cell phones. Everyone just had house phones. Now imagine yourself at home before dinner starts and the phone rings. No surprise, it's a telemarketer. And they want to sell you a magazine, subscriptions, water filters, the Encyclopedia Britannica, frozen beef. It doesn't matter what they're selling because their script is usually the same. After butchering your name, they get through some small talk and you know the sales pitch is next. You can tell what happens next. It's from a scripted flowchart designed to funnel you into a corner where you have no alternative other than to say yes. Sounds something like this. Do you enjoy a nice refreshing glass of water from time to time? Well, yes, I do, but me too. And like me, I bet you like crisp and clean water with no chemical aftertaste, Just like Mother made it, right? Well, yeah, but what that salesperson is trying to do is get you something on the yes train. The thought process is, the more that someone says yes, the better. Because when it comes time for the hard close at the end, when they ask debit or credit, they're going to ask you for your business, and you've already said yes a bunch, so you're more likely to say yes. That thinking was like priming a wall for paint. The base coat of the primer, saying yes often, gets you a better final coat of paint. The yes after the hard close. It's sales tricks like those that creates a negative connotation of sales. Many people think that sales is trying to get someone to buy something or do something that they don't want to do or don't need. In the sales world, you're the prey and the salesperson is the predator. This dynamic immediately brings up defenses. And when you feel like you're being sold, even if the service or the thing that someone's trying to sell you is good and you may benefit from it, you're most likely not going to do it. If you feel that you're being sold, the last thing that you want to do is say yes, even when it's the only way to answer questions like, "Do you drink water?" That sales tactic is designed to get you to say yes at all costs, as if it's life or death. Part 2, the negative connotations of no. Most people have negative connotations with no. The common belief is no is a rejection, so there's an underlying fear of hearing it, as if no were the ultimate negative word. In most cases, the opposite is true. Yes is often meaningless answer that hides a deeper objection. Pushing hard for a yes doesn't bring a negotiation closer to a win, it just frustrates the other side. So if getting talked into a yes is so uncomfortable, and saying no is such a relief, why do we think yes is so good and no is extremely negative? Now, to great leaders, great negotiators, and highly experienced sales folks, no is pure gold. The no provides a great opportunity for you and the other party to clarify what you really want by eliminating what you don't want. Part 3, reframing no as positive. To be great, at some point, all leaders, negotiators, and sales folks need to come to grips and be comfortable with no. When you understand the real psychological dynamic behind it, you'll love this word. You'll not only lose your fear about it, you'll come to learn what it does for you and how you can build deals out of leveraging it. Leveraging the power of no will significantly increase your influence and give you the ability to inspire and to motivate, which is the true essence of sales. Yes and maybe are often worthless in negotiations, while no opens the door for conversation. No is the start of the negotiation, not the end of it. Since childhood, we're conditioned to fear the word no, as if it's a bad thing. That's why the terrible twos is called the terrible twos, and not the powerful twos. No is not a statement of fact. It's a statement of perception. It rarely means I've considered all the facts and made a rational choice. Instead, no is commonly a statement to temporarily maintain the status quo. We all know change is scary, and no provides a little protection from that scariness. To best leverage the power of no, you should encourage the other person across from you to say no from the start of the conversation. Give them permission to say no. People will fight to reserve the right to say no, so might as well give them that right. And then the negotiation environment will become more constructive and collaborative almost immediately. Great negotiators will start with no often, because they know that's often when the real negotiation begins. The invitation for the other side to say no has an amazing power to tear down barriers and allow for beneficial, productive communications. This means to be great, you've got to train yourself to hear no, not that it's something that bad, not that it's rejection, but respond to it accordingly. When someone tells you no, rethink the meaning behind the word. Consider no to be one of its alternatives and much more real meanings. No could mean, I'm not ready to agree. You're making me feel uncomfortable. I don't understand. I don't think I can afford it. I want something else. I need more information, or I want to talk it over with someone else. You may be wondering, what do you do after hearing no? It's simpler than you think. Simply pause, ask a solution-based question, or try to label what you think they're experiencing. You could say something like, what about this doesn't work for you? What would you need to make this work? It seems like there's something here that bothers you. People have an inherent need to say no. So don't just wait and hope to hear it. Get them to say it, and get them to say it early. Part 4, the 3 types of yes. I'll let you in on a little secret about the word yes. There are actually only 3 types of yes. A counterfeit yes, a confirmation yes, and a commitment yes. A counterfeit yes is when someone wants to say no but feels uncomfortable and uses yes as an easier escape route, or they want to disingenuously keep the conversation going to get more information to gain some other kind of edge. The confirmation yes is generally innocent. It's a reflective response to a closed-ended question. Closed-ended question being something that usually has a one-word answer, like yes or no, like are you available on Sunday? Sometimes it can be used to lay a trap, but mostly it's a simple confirmation with no promise of action. Now, a commitment yes is the real deal. This is the true agreement that leads to action. At the closing table, this is the yes that we want to hear at the end. This is the yes that ends with a signature on a contract. The commitment is what you want out of a healthy negotiation. Now, the hard part is these three types of yeses almost sound the same, and they're definitely spelled the same, Y-E-S. So what you need to do is recognize which one is being used. Human beings all over the world are so used to being pushed towards the commitment yes because of sales. And because of this, we've all become masters at giving the counterfeit yes. Good negotiators know their job isn't to pull a performance out and sell. Rather, it's to engage in a healthy conversation and discover if there's mutual synergy and alignment in goals. Great negotiators know how to gently massage the goals to gain alignment and synergy. Now think back to the telemarketer from the beginning. The obvious reply to the question, do you enjoy a nice glass of water? Is yes. But all you want to do is scream no, because you know the rest of the phone call is going to be painful. This example shows you the subconscious contradictions in the values we assign between yes and no. Whenever we negotiate, there's no doubt you want to hear a yes at the end. What we do is we mistakenly blend the positive value of that final yes with a general yes. And because we see no as the opposite of yes, we assume that no generally is a bad thing. Nothing can be further from the truth. Saying no empowers a feeling of safety and security and control. Now that we understand the power of no, we can use that influence to our advantage. Part 5. Inviting no. One way to do this is by using a question that leads a person to the answer no. By turning you down, you empower them with a feeling of being in the driver's seat. Great negotiators welcome and even invite a solid no from the start. A good early no is a sign the other party is engaged and thinking. Gun for yes right off the bat, and the person you're talking to may get defensive, wary, and skittish. Here's a great example of how to open with the power of no. If you've been in sales or done any type of cold calling or even warm calling, I'm sure you've asked someone if they've got a couple of minutes to talk. Even if you haven't been in sales, I'm willing to bet we've started a phone conversation at some point in time that sounded like, do you have a quick minute to chat? Or some version of that. Now that question leads the respondent to say yes, and that's the answer that we want them to say. That's why we called them. Instead of asking that, ask, is now a bad time to talk? If we ask that question, we want them to say no. Now is a good time to talk. They lead with no. Is now a bad time to talk doesn't always flow off the tongue naturally at first. It may even make the person on the other end of the phone pause and think for a moment. And if that happens, you know you're asking the right question. As a result of is now a bad time to talk, you either get yes, it's a bad time, followed by a good time, or a request to go away, or you know it's not a bad time, and you get total focus. Can you think of how to convert questions that you generally want people to say yes to? How can you change them into something that leads them to say no? Part 6, the power of no. No is not failure. Used strategically, it's an answer that opens the path forward. Get to the point where you're no longer horrified by the word no, and you'll find hearing it is a liberating moment that every negotiation needs. Because if your biggest fear is no, you can't negotiate, and then you become the hostage of yes. So let's dive a little deeper into the power of no. It's a reaffirmation of freedom. It's not a use or abuse of power. It's not an act of rejection. It's not a sign of stubbornness. And it's definitely not the end of the negotiation. In fact, no often opens and starts the discussion. The sooner you hear no, the sooner you'll be willing to see options and opportunities that you were previously blind to. If you can influence others to say no often, it can spur people into action, because now they feel protected, and then they may see an opportunity slipping away. Learn to see no for what it is. No protects and benefits all parties. No creates safety and security, and a feeling of control. It's a requirement to hear for actionable success. It's a pause, a nudge, a chance for the speaker to articulate what they do not want. As you can see, no has a lot of skills. No allows the real issue to be brought forward. No slows things down so people can freely embrace their decisions and the agreements they enter into. No helps people feel safe, secure, and emotionally comfortable, and in control of their decisions. No moves everyone's efforts forward. One negotiating genius who's impossible to miss is Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavs. And for those non-sports fans, he's one of the investors from the TV show Shark Tank. One of his best lines about negotiation is, "Every no gets me closer to a yes." Something to remember is it's not always easy to extract that no on the road to the commitment yes. There's a big difference between making your counterpart feel like they can say no comfortably and actually getting them to say it. Part 7. No in negotiations. Sometimes, if you're talking to somebody who's just not listening, the only way you can break the barrier is to antagonize them into no. A great way to do this is by mislabeling one of their emotions or desires. Say something you know that is totally wrong, like, "So it seems you are really eager to leave your job," when they clearly want to stay at their job. That's going to force them to listen, and they'll be comfortable to correct you by saying, "No, that's not it at all. This is it." Another way to force no is to start the negotiation by asking the other party what they don't want. You could say something like, "Let's talk about what you would say no to." People are comfortable to say no here because it feels like that's self-protection. And once you've gotten them to say no, people are much more comfortable and open to move forward towards new opportunities and new ideas. Not hearing no can also serve as a warning. It could be the canary in the coal mine. If despite all of your efforts, the other party won't say no, you're dealing with people that are indecisive or confused, or they have a hidden agenda. In cases like that, you may have to end the negotiation and walk away. Think of it like this: no no means no go. So let's take a moment now and step back and consolidate what we've learned. We'll revisit the key insights and strategies that we've discussed, ensuring that you can walk away from this video with a clear, actionable understanding of how to harness the true power of no in your negotiations. Here's a detailed recap of the essential points that we've explored today. First, we unpacked the misconception of yes, where we challenge the common belief that yes is always the goal in negotiations. Remember how we talked about the yes train? It's the tactic often used, but it can feel manipulative and create negative feelings around sales and negotiations. We then revealed the negative connotations of no, where we discussed how no typically is viewed negatively, seen in a form of rejection or failure. This fear of no can hinder an open and honest communication in negotiations. We explored the negative connotations typically associated with no. Many see it as a rejection or failure, but we've turned that idea around here today. Next, we reframed no as positive. We dove into the idea that no is not the end, but it's the beginning. It's a chance for both parties to clarify their positions and understand what they truly want and what they don't want. No offers a safe space for us to maintain the status quo and provide a sense of control. Now we understand there's 3 types of yeses. We distinguished between the 3 types of yeses, being the counterfeit yes, the confirmation yes, and the commitment yes. Understanding these differences is crucial in recognizing a genuine agreement versus superficial, manipulative agreement. We then learned the strategy of inviting no. We explored the tactic of encouraging a no response early in the conversation. This approach can break down barriers and lead to more productive, honest communication. It empowers the other party and sets a constructive tone for the negotiations. With all of that understanding, we can now realize the real power of no. We emphasize that no is not a barrier, but a gateway to better understanding and more effective negotiation. Understanding the other party's concerns and working towards a mutually beneficial outcome. Lastly, we learned how to leverage no in negotiations. We discussed practical ways to use no to your advantage. This includes asking questions that lead to a no response, mislabeling to provoke clarification, and understanding that no response can be a sign of engagement and thoughtful considerations. Being there's a lot of content in this video, and even the summary was long, I figured why not summarize the summary. So the main takeaways are: embrace no as an essential part of negotiation. View each no as a step closer to a mutual beneficial agreement. And recognize that effective negotiation is about finding alignment and synergy, not just about getting to yes. As we wrap up this insightful discussion, I want to take a moment and acknowledge some brilliant minds whose work has been greatly influential in today's topic. Much of what we learned today was inspired by the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, a former FBI hostage negotiator. He brings a wealth of knowledge to the art of negotiation, teaching us the power and subtle language of high-stakes situations. I highly recommend this book if you're interested in diving deeper into effective negotiating techniques. Another key resource for our discussion is Start With No by Jim Camp. This book challenges traditional negotiation tactics and emphasizes the strength of strategic importance of saying no. Camp's insights are invaluable, and anyone looking to enhance their negotiation should read this book. Lastly, The Power of Positive No by William Ury offers a compelling perspective on how saying no can lead to more positive outcomes in the personal and professional atmosphere. All three of these books are not just guides for negotiation. They offer profound insights into human psychology and communication. They've been instrumental in shaping the concepts that we've discussed today. I'm grateful for the wisdom of these authors, and I encourage you to check out their work for more in-depth understanding and strategies. Links to these books will also be in the description of this video. Please like and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when the next video is posted. Use the comments below to chat with me about anything you're thinking about regarding this topic, or if you've got topic suggestions for the next video, put them in the comments below. Remember, no is your negotiation superpower. Use it wisely and watch the yeses fall into place. Embrace the power of no. It might just be the yes you're looking for. This is Matt Riley, turning no's into wins and helping you navigate life's twists and turns with expertise here on Learn Something New. Until next time, keep negotiating your way to success. Thank you very much.